Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where skincare is all about progression over perfection because perfection doesn't exist. I got a new tray down here, like one of those under pull-out desk ones, and I keep hitting it, so do excuse me if you hear that again, I'll get used to it. I shared a TikTok recently. I'm trying really hard to post on TikTok as much as I can. That's where I really do talk about skincare the most. I do more reviews, ingredient kind of stuff, things I used to do like 2 years ago on this channel that I don't do so much anymore. But one of the videos I posted was about my current top 10 skincare products, and I feel like a lot of the products I've been using recently has really kind of like reignited the passion that I have for skincare, because there's a lot more innovation at the moment, interesting products, nothing's new, but there are interesting and different takes on classics and old favorites. So I want to share my current favorite top 10. Starting with an eye cream. This is from the brand TirTir, who are very, very popular on TikTok, mainly because of their cushion compacts. This is their collagen lifting eye cream. Again, whenever I talk about collagen, people always like, collagen doesn't do anything. It can moisturize the skin fairly well. And that kind of like lighter weight moisturizing for me is really nice around the eye area. Under here in the corner here, I get so dry in the corners. And then I don't want anything too heavy under my eyes either. One thing I've noticed about K-Beauty actually is that they still kind of promote collagen as an anti-aging ingredient, or suggest that it's an anti-aging ingredient. When they have peptides in their products, like this has 5 types of peptides, they don't highlight that massively in the name, but it really is the peptides that are going to be doing that kind of like boosting of skin elasticity, plumping out those fine lines and wrinkles. I guess it's just an ingredient that people are less familiar with. Collagen probably makes more marketing sense. Nice enzyme-free, nice brightening effect under the eye, and then 3 different types of herbal extract herbs. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what they do. I don't really care about herbal extracts, to be honest, in some cases. I do when it comes to like soothing and healing. Under my eyes, I don't really mind. But the rollable applicator is one of the best rollable applicators I've ever used. And I know that that sounds really like they're all balls, right? But the way this really, really glides around the eyes, the way it's like a pinpoint as well, so you can really push on like those little pressure points whilst you're giving your eye a really nice massage. I tend to avoid the top of my eyelid, but I'll go like up into my eyebrows, like kind of like push up here. And what I like about this as well is usually rollable applicators is what the product relies on to leave the packaging, if that makes sense. So you roll, but you only can roll a certain amount, otherwise you're just going to load up on more and more product. You push this tip down to dispense product, and then the rollable just rolls around that product. So you just keep going and massaging. But like most Korean brands, they've done their own kind of like studies, kind of like in-house tests, like clinical tests on this product. And there does seem to be some promising lifting action going on, which we're not going to see on my skin because I'm not there yet. I'm not quite there with the fine lines and wrinkles around the eyes. But as far as kind of like brightening under the eyes, making sure it's nicely moisturized and hydrated without getting like that chickeny, crepey skin under the eyes. This is doing an amazing job. I absolutely love it. I love the whole experience of this product. 9. This is only number 9 because it's still fairly new in my routine. This is Precool Skin Utility Gel Multi-Purpose Skin Protectant. I've mentioned this in like the dermatologist video, I think, but this is like slugging on a lighter weight level, using 20% glycerin as that kind of skin protectant rather than like a heavy ointment, but also helps soothe any kind of skin irritation and discomfort. But because of that high percentage of glycerin and the way it's kind of formulated in this like kind of gel moisturizer kind of texture, it's great to use during the day. If you're somebody who in the winter, for example, your skin's battling against like wind, rain, I guess like external aggressors other than UV, because you need sunscreen, you want to keep your skin protected without having to have like a greasy, heavy ointment on your skin, like a slugging ointment. This is the perfect kind of solution to that. Depanthenol in here is going to help soothe your skin, and we also have their Bioactive, which is a combination of panthenol, triacetate, and narginine. I've, again, not heard of them. But what I do know about this is it's been an amazing alternative to the usual heavy slugging, petrolatum kind of products that we often use for slugging, which I still really, really enjoy. But with warmer weather coming up, I don't really want to be going to bed like that. I want to wake up not so greasy and oily because it's going to be hot. I kind of also want those extra added benefits that you get from this product. So not just an emollient kind of layer, but skin loving, soothing, calming ingredients too. So really enjoy this. I've only been using this for about 2 weeks, but so far I've used it pretty much every night. Number 8, we have Experiment Software. This is their latest launch of a lip product. It does feel like every brand and their mother are launching lip products at the moment, but I don't know why. It takes me back to like the 2000s, when we were all using like lip smackers and whatever the Body Shop was selling, and we all still kind of like collect them. And this sounds so ridiculous, but this is kind of special because it's got water in it, which most lip lip products don't. And that's why you get that feeling of like, not quite well enough moisturized or hydrated lips, the constant need to feel like you're having to reapply your lip product all the time because you're not getting that satisfaction of nice hydrated moisturized feeling lips. So we have 7% water that works with glycerin to really hydrate the lips. You get that nice kind of plumped out look. But 0.2% hydroxycaprylic acid, which is basically just a very gentle exfoliant for your lips that's safe to use multiple times a day. Squalane, so nice and moisturizing without being sticky, thick, oily. Petrolatum and 10% pomegranate sterol, so you get that kind of nice occlusive layer that helps lock in all that moisture. But I love it. I've got like 3 or 4 of these that I just keep everywhere because, as I mentioned, if I'm like busy, if I'm filming, if I'm dotted around the house doing stuff, I don't want to have to keep reaching for my lip balm to reapply. So I know when I apply this, I'm good for like 3 to 4 hours. You know, if I wasn't licking my lips, which is a bad habit I have, or drinking constantly, this would probably last a lot longer as well. Another one I featured very recently is Dr. Idris's The Depuffer Roll-On Serum. It's a bit messy, sorry. This is a depuffing and kind of redness reducing serum that has this, I believe it's stainless steel roller that really just, along with the ingredients, calms, soothes, you know, it's that cold metal feeling on the skin that just stays constantly cool, which is perfect for my rosacea. Any kind of irritation on my skin, it's instantly soothing. I did think the delivery method would be kind of annoying, and it's not really just give it a little squeeze and then roll on, and it covers, you know, perfectly. The roller really helps spread that serum around as well, and it just feels nice. It just feels nice, you know? It's one of those skincare products that is like really beneficial for your skin. You know, giving yourself a little bit more attention, a little bit more kindness to your face. So one of the key ingredients in here is arnica, which helps reduce swelling, ash bark extract, which helps depuff, centella asiatica, which is obviously calming, soothing, and glycerin to help hydrate the skin as well. The 4 key ingredients. It's really, really nice. Even when I'm not using the roller, I'll be honest, I kind of like put it into its on position, then just kind of squeeze the serum out of the top, and then just kind of apply it like a normal serum if I'm in a bit of a rush. You still get like that relief to your skin, but you don't quite get that like soothingness that the roller gives you. And this is another one of those serums that you can just pop into any routine, any time of day. You could use it consistently throughout the day if you want to as well, as a bit of a pick-me-up first thing in the morning. It really can be beneficial for most skin types, most skin concerns as well. I've really been enjoying this. I wish like there are other serums, like if I could have like a really liquidy centella one as well, maybe like a peptide serum. I would love to see a range of serums that come with like that depuffing tool, you know? I know there are some that, you know, people have for the neck and stuff. I don't know, I just kind of like this contraption. You're going to be seeing a lot of this because I love it so much. The Manyo Panthertoin Essence Toner. This is a really hydrating, more than milky tone. They say milky, I'll say it's more like yogurty toner essence that combines panthenol and ecatoin to really help calm and moisturize. And we have ceramides in here as well. We all know what ceramides do, support the skin barrier, trapping all that moisture and hydration. It's just been such an amazing, calming, soothing layer of product for my skin. I've had this breakout here for a while, and it's just kind of like, whilst it's not getting rid of the breakout, that's obviously not its job. It's just taking away that irritation, that itchiness that a lot of breakouts give me. And you could also use this like a mask as well. You do have to use very thin cotton pads though, otherwise it just kind of feels heavy on the skin. But yeah, my skin just drinks this up. I've been using it solidly for 2-3 weeks now. I've used that much. It doesn't look like I've used anything. It just like spreads so elegantly as well. You need like a serum amount, like maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of drops of it, and then it just glides and spreads everywhere. Again, with warmer months coming up, I always find a lot of ceramide creams can be very heavy. Obviously like the Ilione one is really nice, Astura is really nice, but sometimes it's nice to get that ceramide step in like a lighter weight kind of texture, so you can then go on to pile up on your sunscreen so your skin doesn't feel bogged down with too many creamy stages. Number 5 is Crave Beauty's Makeup Rewind. This is one of those brands like Jordan Samuel Skin that is such a consistent part of my routine and daily life that sometimes I just forget to talk about them. You know, when you see something every day, you kind of forget about it. That's kind of what this is. I love Makeup Rewind because it's in between a cleansing balm and a cleansing oil. And was it this video I mentioned that sometimes I can't be bothered for either? Sometimes like, oh, a cleansing balm feels like so much effort having to break it down and then massage it, blah, blah, blah. Oil, I can't be bothered sometimes. It can sometimes feel heavy. It'll drip down my arms, you know, like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you get what I mean. It's more like a jelly that just instantly turns into an oil once you start gently massaging it on the skin. And I will say it does it very quickly. The rate at which it clears away makeup, sunscreen, without having to rub too much or massage too much, is very, very quick. They use upcycled grapeseed oil, which I believe is from like unused winery ants. Grapes? What? What was it? Grapes. Why did I say ants? I don't know. So sometimes the color of the product does vary. Sunflower seed oil is that oil that really breaks everything down. Rich in barrier supporting linoleic acid, they say to help prevent any kind of further irritation to the skin, and vitamin E. I love how easy it is to use and how convenient the packaging is. This like jelly-like cleanser in like a tube, squeezy tube. It's just the whole experience of it from start to finish is just enjoyable, quick, and easy, which sometimes I just want a quick cleanse and go kind of thing. Ooh, number 4 is Astura's Atto Barrier 365 Cream. This is like, now we're entering some of my favorite skincare products of all time and most used. Atto Barrier, ceramides, we all know this. We all know this product. It has these ceramide capsules that supposedly allow for better penetration on the skin, really speeding up the recovery process of your skin barrier in a really elegant formulation. Feels a tiny bit clinical, but also feels elegant. So it doesn't feel like you're using an ointment or like a rash cream, which I usually say when it comes to like these approved by derm brands. Astura is actually used in a lot of hospitals throughout South Korea. So it's approved by a lot of like the healthcare kind of industry out there. This is my go-to all the time. All the time. If my skin barrier is ruined, this will be it. This will be the moisturizer I use to just guarantee a soothing, barrier repairing week, if that makes sense. I know if I use this on a Monday, by Sunday, my skin's gonna be fine. I won't talk about that too long because I've talked about it so much. Along with number 3, which is Prequel's, what's it called again? Cleanser. This is a 50% glycerin cleanser with oat and aloe. This is like a gloopy, slimy, glycerin-y texture. And that 50% glycerin really prevents any kind of like stripping of the skin, any tightness. And this cleanser kind of turns into a really lightweight foam that I've said before feels like you're moisturizing your face with that foam. It feels like you've got like a foamy moisturizer. It doesn't feel like it's stripping anything. It rinses away with a really, really good deep cleanse without the stripping of a deep cleanse. We have oat in here as well. I believe it's oat kernel extract, which is lovely and soothing. So you can really take your time with this. And aloe as well, soothing, hydrating. It's just such a nice cleanser. I've had this since it launched and I'm nowhere near done with it yet. It's probably down to here. It's huge. How big is it? 400 milliliters. You can use it on your body. I'm not going to use it on my body, even though my body will probably benefit from it. But I feel like if I start using it on my body, it's going to go really quick. It's quite a unique cleanser in the sense that the texture is a little bit different. There are a few other similar cleansers, but as far as how it then interacts on the skin, how it then foams up, how it then leaves your skin is fairly unique. A lot of cleansers nowadays don't strip. You'd be hard to find a cleanser that does strip your skin. You know, it's kind of industry standard for it not to strip your skin anymore, but there's something about this that just feels a lot more nourishing and moisturizing than any other cleanser I've used. And then number 2 is Glow Recipes Watermelon PHA and BHA Pore Tight Toner. I used to use this every day. I don't so much anymore, mainly because I'm experimenting a lot more with that in between exfoliating and treatment stage recently. Same old thing I always say with this, as somebody with rosacea, it's a perfect exfoliant for me. Betaine salicylate instead of salicylic acid. Really gentle, really moisturizing. PHA works great because it works slower on the skin, so a lot less irritating. Watermelon is an antioxidant. I don't really care about that bit, to be honest with you. I don't see it as my antioxidant, you know? It's nicely hydrating though, along with cactus water, and I believe we also have cucumber. And that is really what you're smelling. When a lot of people see Glow Recipe or they smell Glow Recipe and they think it smells like watermelon, it doesn't. Glow Recipe only use natural fragrance. Not that that's better than anything, but what that means is you cannot smell the watermelon. Watermelon is a very hard smell to get in skincare. That's why we had that synthetic smell of watermelon that doesn't really smell like watermelon, like grape, you know, like purple grape. What you're smelling in here really is the cactus and the cucumber, and maybe like a small underlining of like that watery watermelon smell, like a watered down watermelon squash. But yeah, it really is that cactus and cucumber. It's got a more refreshing smell than anything sweet. If you haven't tried this before, if you don't mind a little bit of fragrance, my skin is easily sensitized. I have rosacea and the fragrance in here does not bother me. It's a small amount of fragrance, perfectly safe amount of fragrance. It's an amazing toner just to use consistently every single day to see those like gradual skin evening, pore tightening, pore clearing kind of benefits that you get from a BHA. This would have been number 1 4 months ago, but my new favorite is Prequel's Universal Skin Solution Dermal Spray. Hypochlorous acid, always say, is like an anti-bac for your face. It helps with with skin irritation, redness, breakouts, cuts, grazes. You know, if you picked a spot, it's gonna help soothe it. This has been my everything for everything. This has been when my rosacea's flaring up, spray it on, soothes it. Breakouts, irritated skin. I get really irritated like sideburns for some reason. Like, I don't break out here with rosacea, but I seem to here for some reason. Spritz, fine. Like, these breakouts don't bother me so much, or this irritation doesn't bother me so much, knowing I have sprays like this, soothing serums, skin barrier repairing moisturizers that are gonna help soothe it quicker. I worry about it a lot less. What I will say though is this isn't available in the UK. It's not available in Europe. I use a shipping service called ShipIt2. This does have a few more skincare benefits added in as an extra perk. But if you want the basic ingredient of hypochlorous acid, what is it? It's hypochlorous acid, sodium chloride, sodium phosphate, disodium phosphate, and electrolyzed water. This I found whilst I was doing my doggy first aid course, and they're selling this as antiseptic skincare. And you know what it is? It's hypochlorous acid. So the ingredients in here are water, hypochlorous acid, sodium salt, and sodium chloride. And this is like £9 or something like that. Do I prefer it over this? No, because this isn't made to be sprayed on your face. It's very horrible to use. It just like spits on your face, and it's not made to spray on your face. So it's made to be a bit direct. So you kind of have to like, you know, like catch it on your face. But I bought it and I want to try it out. You could also get the next size up, which is 500 milliliters for about £12. You can Google hypochlorous acid on Amazon and stuff will come up. But as I mentioned, this feels a little bit more skin friendly. The delivery method is more of a mist than a direct spray to the eyeball, which all the others seem to be. So I will still buy this personally over this, but this is cheaper and more accessible to people in the UK and Europe. There we have it, my top 10 skincare products currently at the moment. You're gonna get bored of these products because these are products that I've been absolutely loving, and I feel like my skin is really benefiting from right now. Not right now because I've been experimenting with sunscreens for future videos. Now we're going into warmer weather. It's like sunscreen time of year coming up. So I am breaking out. I got a little bit of irritation from a sunscreen that I just used yesterday, but you know, I should be getting back to normal-ish soon. So let me know what you thought of these products if you want to try them, if you had tried them. If there's anything else from these brands that you absolutely love, let me know in the comments down below. You can put some more product reviews here. So in general, light entertainment here, and I'll see you over there.